Hello again, everybody. This is Comic Book Hangover. It is Friday, so that means once again it is time for Full Run Friday. And as I said yesterday, we're going to be showing my Invader ZIM comics collection, since the fifth and final Invader ZIM quarterly book just came out this week. And according to Oni Press, that wraps up Invader ZIM. It's done. They put the characters in a place where they're going to continue, but, really nothing much more is going to really happen with them. So I figured, since we wrapped it up, what the heck, why not? Let's talk about Invader ZIM. So let's flip this camera over and go through the books that I have. There's over 50 books that I've got for Invader ZIM, which is kind of crazy. I never thought that would happen, but let's flip this camera over and take a look at my Invader ZIM comics. Okay, here we are. So let's jump into this. Some of these covers are actually pretty cool. Some of them are kind of, yeah. Now, with each issue of Invader ZIM, they did do variant covers, and for the most part, I just got one cover for each issue, because I didn't really see the need in buying multiples. Although the first issue, I do have, I think, the third print for it. So let's flip through and get to the proper spots. Here we are. So the first thing that I have in my collection is this here. So this is from a local comic shop day. I like how it's set up like a file folder. And this is just kind of like some behind the scenes stuff, and just some fun little things about Invader ZIM and the comic as well, to kind of give you an idea of what it is. It's been forever since I looked at it. I think I actually have 2 copies of this. And then we've got my copy of the first issue. This is also the image that they used to promote it, if I remember correctly, and really liked it. I like that image, so I grabbed that cover. Now, this is the third print. I don't think it says anything about that on the cover, but this is the third print. This was actually purchased from Hot Topic back in the day when, Invader ZIM was all over Hot Topic. And then we get into the regular issues. Now, what was really interesting about this series is that it did pick up from the ending of the TV show. And they used like real time for us. So however many years it had been since the show ended, that's how many years later the comic book took place. And they explained that Dib had been watching Zim's house for years, and there was no activity. Zim wasn't seen in a long time. And what had happened was, anybody who's familiar with the show knows that in Zim's kitchen, he has a toilet that he gets into, and that toilet takes him down to his lab or whatever it is that's underneath his house. Well, they explained in the first issue of the book what happened was he got stuck. He got stuck in the toilet, and he'd been there this entire time, the entire length of time that after the show ended. And he'd finally gotten out, and then decided to, restart his plans for world domination. So that was how they kind of filled in that time span there. And they used some of the creators, writers, artists, and whatnot from the show did work on the comic book. And you could tell when those people were on there, because all the writers, they did a good job, and the artists did a great job sort of lending their interpretation of these characters in this comic book. But it was always nice when the people who were actually part of the show were involved with the comic book, because it really took you back to the show. And it was so much fun. I mean, there was some stuff. There was some stuff in here that I thought kind of went a little overboard. I mean, there was some poop humor that I thought was not really Invader ZIM worthy. But, it is what it is. The series was a lot of fun. Ran for a lot longer than I expected it to. This was a great cover. I always liked that one there. Sort of an anime manga style cover there. But, the series ran, I gave it 12 issues. And then it was just going to sort of fade away quietly, like these sort of books usually tend to do. But, then we got up to issue 12, and it kept going. Then we got up to issue 20, and it kept going. And then we hit issue 25. And what really surprised me, this is issue 25. What surprised me, and I guess this is just an Oni thing, that they're a smaller publisher, so they really may not have the resources. But it was kind of weird that here we had the 25th issue, and it's a regular sized book. There's no cover gimmick. They just did a regular cover A, cover B, and that was it for it. And I just kind of went along quietly from there. There's Bloaty. Showed up every once in a while. Now the book also, it didn't really add anything to the mythos in terms of like Dib and Gaz, like their parentage, you know, their who their mom is, and you know, more the how the hierarchy of the Urkin Empire works. They didn't really add anything like that to it, which was fine. It really was like picking, you know, watching new episodes of the cartoon. And I liked being able to have new episodes. I think there were a couple of storylines that ran through more than one issue, but for the most part, they were all one and done. And there's madness. Gotta love that. That thing didn't show up too often in the book. I was okay with that, and it was fun. Like I said, it was nice to have Zim extend. It was nice to have these characters a little bit longer. I wish they would have, and I mean, there's still a possibility that they could do miniseries or one shots and sort of, you know, adapt in comic book format the episodes of Zim that were. There were some that were like their audio was recorded, but they weren't fully animated when the show was canceled. I would like to see some of those episodes adapted in a comic book. So then we get to see them. I mean, there was one episode where we find out that Zim's backpack is actually where his brain is, and the longer he's without it, the dumber he gets. And Dib winds up getting the backpack, and the longer he wears it, the more like Zim he becomes. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So we're near the end of Invader ZIM. Like I said, it only ran for 50 issues. Well, it's not really an appropriate thing to say. It ran for 50 issues, which was a surprisingly long run for a book like this, especially from an independent publisher, from a franchise that, you know, it was all but dead in the water for years, but they were able to keep it going a little bit longer. Yeah, even after Hot Topic abandoned it. And then with this one here, this is issue 50. This was the final issue of the main run. And then they decided to change the format to a quarterly. Now, these weren't numbered, but I have them in here in the order that they came out. So this is Gur's Big Day. And then we have issue 2, Dib's Dilemma. I like that cover. And 3 would be Zim's Greatest Plan. The holiday special. They only did one of these. I'm surprised. And the recent one and the final one, the Dookie Loop Horror. And that wraps up Invader ZIM. I also have this one here. This one actually I think is my wife's copy. She was getting these as well, and she would actually buy the covers that I wasn't getting, which, you know, it is what it is. It's pretty cool. So that is it. That is my Invader ZIM collection. Now that it's over with, I may go back and see if I can get those covers that I didn't get the first time. They shouldn't be that expensive. I mean, the book wasn't... It was entertaining. It was fun. If you're an Invader ZIM fan of any sort, I do recommend it. I know they they did trade paperbacks for those as well. So if you don't want to get the individuals, you can buy them in collected editions, or you can get them individually and get the covers and have a nice collection of Invader ZIM stuff. I mean, even if you're not a comic book collector, you can read them and put them up on your wall. You know, whatever you want to do with them. But that's it. That's Invader ZIM. It was a great run, a lot of fun. Just, you know, it wasn't always the standard of the show, but it was always real close to the standard of the show. It was a really well done adaptation. They really didn't take any liberties with it. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They didn't try to change and try to improve on what actually worked. They just stuck with the formula, and that worked fine with this comic book. So it was a great run. I actually may end up rereading it because it was a lot of fun. But that's it. Thanks for watching. This was Full Run Friday, Invader ZIM. Now, on Monday, I'm going to be doing the first video of my newest series, Mini Mondays or Monday Minis. I'm still not sure what I want to do with that title. I will have it nailed down when I record the video. So I'm going to do that this weekend, but it's going to be Deadly Foes of Spider-Man is the first mini series I'm going to talk about. And again, that is because that is the first Spider-Man book I bought and the first miniseries I ever bought when I started collecting comic books. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, that's it. So everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. And of course, tomorrow is free comic book day. Take advantage of it. Have some fun. And of course, as I said on yesterday's video, if you're going to an LCS and they have rules about, masks and that sort of stuff, abide by the rules. They're trying their best. They're trying to do what they can to make sure that you are getting your books and you're going to be able to enjoy free comic book days. So the least you could do is make it easier for them. I mean, it's just as frustrating for your LCS owner as it is for all of us to have to deal with all this crap. So go there, have fun, be safe, and we'll see everybody on Monday with the Mini Mondays first episode video of thingies. So have a great weekend. We'll see y'all later.